Did you hear about those doctors that they were doing female genital mutilation, like underground here in America? They were doing it here, and he got arrested. Yeah, pretty lame.
Yeah, see, they bring that stuff from them third world countries. You know, my father taught me a long time ago, okay, you watch what's coming from them third world countries, because, you know, they don't have the freedoms and benefits that we have here, even with, you know, with all this, you know, all this dark stuff going around. You know, that's why we're seeing these Lucifer statues, because, you know, they're bringing voodoo over here. They're bringing all kind of deep, dark stuff, you know, rituals over here that they practice in those countries that is now here in America. So this is why we have also a spiritual warfare going on, because they done brought these devils over here. That's another factor, a big spiritual warfare we dealing with.
I mean, you even have the leaders of like Islam or whatnot that even warned about letting certain Muslims in because of the hatred they have of America or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So
was it Farrakhan? When did he say that?
Yeah. Yeah, he even said, like, he called Trump wise for being the way he is, because I'm from Philadelphia. I know a lot of Muslim people that aren't like that, but I mean, they're trust and believe. There's plenty of them that are like that too. So I don't understand how people don't understand that there are people that are coming to this country, whether Muslim or even Mexican. I remember Renzo sent me footage of them burning the flag and hating America and stuff like that. This is in California or something like that. They don't really bang with America like that. So why are we fighting for them?
Yeah, and you know, just remember, it only took four people to create 9/11, right? To kill 3,000 people. I mean, there's a lot of holes in that story. Okay, I don't believe the whole official story of 9/11, but if you want to go by what the official story says, it was like 3 or 4 people that were Muslim that basically ran their planes into towers and made them come down.
Exactly. So, just act like we're talking their logic.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we can do a whole nother thing about like how screwy the official story was on that. But I'm just saying, going by their logic about, you know, if you believe the official story of 9/11, you know, think about it that way, that, oh, well, they say only a few of them are like that or not, you know, but, well, it only takes a few to wreak chaos, basically, is what I'm saying. A few bad apples to wreak chaos. So even if you have like 10, 20 people that come in that are illegal, but out of 3 of those people, you know, are bad, they can still wreak a lot of damage and kill a lot of people if they have the wrong intentions, you know.
You know, I don't understand, you know, why the United States let the same people into the United States when United States and went over to their country and blew up their families and did all kind of dirt. They blew up their buildings and all of that. Okay, do they not think people are, you know, their children, grandchildren, and even some of them may still be living? Do they not think that, you know, they forgot about what the United States did, and, you know, they're not going to, you know, try to get some type of payback, you know, for what they, you know, United States did to them? You know, just keep it real. United States did some dirt. Okay, and, you know, and even though we didn't have nothing to do with all this stuff, okay, that's going on.
They don't care. They don't care.
We're gonna kill their kids. They killed our kids. We're gonna kill their kids and their kids and their kids.
And speaking of like globalism and the Illuminati, this is just basically a way to get poor people to kill other poor people. Because all these people that are advocating for open borders and all this stuff, they're way far from the issues. They're not going to be affected by it directly. No. You know.
No.
But even that girl that got stabbed, would she get killed by what was her name? And then her family came out. They're like, don't use her as a political tool. She was
Molly Tibbet.
She was for open borders. I'm like, all right, well, like, I'm just like, don't use her. Use somebody else. There's plenty more examples. But homelessness. How is illegal immigration affecting homelessness? How? Anybody break that down, the homelessness issue? It's a growing issue in Austin. It's really, really bad in Los Angeles.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good. Yeah, you good.
Okay, you know what? Like I said, obey the land of the law. People bring things on themselves. You know what? If you are homeless, it's something that your doggone mother or freaking father did. I'm just saying, It's okay to look. You gotta obey the lands of the law. I think life is not fair, but we gotta obey the lands of the law, and that's the truth. You know, it doesn't matter. You could say that they deported me back, but guess what? If you obey the laws in the first place, you would have been good. You know what I'm saying? So don't blame the white man. Go ahead and blame your mama and your daddy for not obeying the lands of the law. I'm just telling the truth right here. This is my take on things. You know, it sounds harsh, but it's the truth.
A lot of these people that are homeless, the reason why homeless, they can't get jobs or whatnot, it's simply because they gotta be able to speak Spanish and all. They got so many different restrictions and stuff that they have to abide by. There's a lot of people that's broke and can't get no job simply because it costs a lot cheaper to fund somebody that is illegal. Like, and that's kind of crazy. Like that we allow that to happen to our own citizens. We got veterans that's on the street and fought for this country. I mean, and we're putting, everybody from overseas. It's not even mainly illegal immigrants or whatnot. I don't want to say Mexicans because CNN may be watching or whatnot. I mean, but that's the main reason why I hear from in California, from Renzo, conservative Mexican, every single person from California that tells me it's specifically because of illegal immigration. You feel me?
So anybody else want to talk about that? Build on that. We can go to the next subject.
Well, you know how I feel about
yeah, girl. I mean, just go.
Okay. There's a systematic problem. Okay, with as far as illegal immigration and the homelessness goes, because I've done a lot of research on this because I actually was homeless myself. After, I dealt with a medical situation from a birth control device called the Mirena IUD. And that's a whole nother international conversation we'll have at a later date on another show. Where I found, that's how I found out about all this information that I'm aware of, because I did research on the top 10 pharmaceutical corporations here in the United States. But there's a systematic problem of people that have basically to implement the New World Order. They have infiltrated America with citizens from all over the world to basically push out the American people. If you go back to basic history, it's called territory takeover. Okay, you have the Muslims that have come to Michigan and they have taken over parts of Michigan to implement Sharia law. You also have this going on in Minnesota. You come to Los Angeles. Okay, you have Koreatown, you got Chinatown, you got Filipino town. Okay, you have all of these different countries that basically have come over to the United States and taken over specific territories. Even in Inglewood, Watts, and Compton, those have all been taken over by Hispanics. And those are, used to be, black and, white neighborhoods. And then there has another one in Diamond Bar. I think that used to be all white neighborhood. It's now taken over by Chinese. So you have these people that have flooded into the United States and have pushed out the American people out onto the street homeless, okay, in their own country. And, this is systematically that, was, put in place by the UN and all these globalists. Yet it's a bigger picture now, but this is what they did to push the American people out, to put their people in. Just goes back to, I said there was 200 apartment buildings that I was aware of that illegal immigrants was living in. Well, what happened to those, the American citizens that was living in those properties? Well, they're out on the street. They're homeless on the street. And then we have these developers that have come over here that's international, because China owns a lot of land over here in the United States, and so does Germany. So they've come over here, bought up the land, and their people are living in these properties, not the American people.
China owns a port of Long Beach. I just want to add that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have where I'm not sure if you guys were aware of this, where the MS-13s put a hit out on a black community in Boyle Heights, California, to bomb them out of their community. And there's a current, if you look it up, there's a current court case in regards to that. The MS-13 said, yes, we did have a hit to bomb those blacks out of the community so they can take over the black community. And a lot of the blacks are homeless on Skid Row, living with rats, roaches, and they're not criminal. They're not all criminals. They're not all drug addicts, and bad stuff that people think. These are people that can't afford the rents because they didn't jacked up these rents. But they won't let black people all live together. But they'll let the Hispanics. They'll let them all live together. And then they won't, because there's so many Hispanics out here in Los Angeles and foreign property owners. They won't rent to blacks. So where, they're basically out on the street dying, but now you're seeing an abundance of whites too. This is happening too. So now it's happened to the blacks and the whites. So these people have come into California internationally and pushed out the American people on the street. So it's systematically, and the federal government like HUD, they're paying federal dollars to sanctuary states such as California to house these people and put the American people out on the street. So it's a systematic problem. It is not the problem of the American people who were already the black people was already low hanging fruit. Now you done got a whole nother low hanging fruit coming into the United States from another third world country. And that's not only just Mexico. You got Somalians, people from Africa that come over here from third world countries. You got people from Jamaica, you got people from Haiti, you got all these people coming into the United States that are basically now on top of the Black Americans who are descendants of chattel slaves. Okay, so this is why the Black Americans, and now they're hitting the white Americans, why we homeless. Okay, it's systematic. What can they do?
Yep, I can definitely speak to that because I lived in Minnesota for 5 years, right? I lived in Minneapolis, and Minneapolis has the highest population of Somalis in the whole country. So there's more Somalians there than anywhere else. And a lot of it has to do with those like bleeding heart liberal churches that brought over Somalis from back in the day. Same thing with Hmong. So St. Paul, which is the other twin city up there, they have the largest Hmong population. I can't really speak to the Hmong population other than they really hang together and they built their own neighborhoods. But the Somalis specifically, they built their own little like enclaves within the city. They do not assimilate whatsoever. Like Somalians and black people over there don't really talk. I mean, they don't learn the language. They have their own neighborhoods, their own restaurants, and they actually are business owners. You see them thriving. They're in the police force. They're running for office. They have definitely ascended above blacks, because you see blacks in Minneapolis, they're not doing as well as Somalis over there. And when I say it's a large population, it's huge. They're everywhere. You see them everywhere. And I was blown away by that. That was kind of a culture shock to me because you don't see that in other cities. I think just depending on where you are in the US, you're going to see a higher population of whatever, I don't know, immigrant population coming from another country. Because I know in Mexico or in California, it's Mexico. Down here in Florida, it's like Cubans, Dominicans, Haitians, Puerto Ricans. But for whatever reason up there in the north, and I know it's true up in Michigan too, they are bringing in a lot of Muslim immigrants. And Somalians aren't just like, they haven't just come over here. They've been here for decades and their population's growing. And I know that, I want to say it was like 2014, 2013, they were busting, they had task force going up there to bust terrorist plots. So they were actually funding terrorism up there. So they had terrorist plots. There's certain neighborhoods up there where they have skyscrapers. They call them the crack stacks. They call them the crack stacks, but there's skyscrapers up there where it's just Somalians. And the feds have kicked in doors over there because they were funding terrorism, sending money back to Somalia, sending money back to other parts of the Middle East. They had to cancel some flights because there was a lot of activity, and it's still going on. A lot of people saying like they're waiting for the day where like a terrorist attack happens up there because there's so many Somalians up there, and they're like, we got the Mall of America, we got this Viking Stadium, we can hit the US right here. So it's a big problem.